Hello, free enterprise fans, and welcome to the last match of week 4. This one's for all the marbles, y'all. I don't know how marbles work, but
they usually roll around and get into places where you can't really reach them.
right. Well, anyway, I am one of your commentators, Dijon Ketchup. We are brought to you by Restreamer Leggy Starscream. We have on the buttons doing the tracking and the things, Xenocat with a bunch of numbers, and joined here on commentary by my good buddy Poydrak. How are you today, whatever time zone?
Well, it's tonight, and I'm in a terrible time zone for everyone else, but I'm doing okay. I'm looking forward to this one. This is one of the odd matchups that we have. This is one of our up and down races, is where we've got two runners who have a different sort of record going against each other. This is because in the 2-in-1 bracket we did have an odd number of people, so we've had to match Rumblefish up against one of the 1 and 2 runners, and that was put up with Commander Leonhart, so that is the reason for that.
Yeah, that's how that's math for you. I don't math.
Yeah, it's a little bit complicated, but basically we didn't want Rumblefish to have a easy route into a 3-in-1 record, so he's having to fight Commander Leonhart, who's really racing for his tournament. At 1 and 2, one loss will put him out.
Yeah, so if we get a win from Commander Leonhart tonight, that's gonna put both of these runners on the chopping block next week.
Yeah, in that very, very stacked 2 and 2 bracket, which there are a lot of big names in there, all fighting for their tournament, all fighting for 2 wins in a row to get into that bracket stage.
Yeah, we're getting into like the last couple of weeks of Swiss flags, and it is getting terrifying for some people.
Yeah, Rumblefish will be hoping to stave off that, just hoping for the one particular race win in the next 2 weeks, rather than having to go through 2. We are on the Lali-Ho League flags, which is as it's been for the last 4 weeks almost now. We do have 5 objectives, of which you have to complete 4. Complete Cave Magnus, forge the Excalibur with the Legend Sword and the Adamant, and trade away the Pink Tail, and 2 random from the boss. And character pools today being Mylon Z and Rydia.
Yep, so we've got a boss and we got a character. A little of column A, a little from column B.
Yeah, that means there's a lot of extra checks than you would do with, say, one or the other. Mylon on the bosses, you'd go to specific places, and characters you'd go to even more specific places where there are only characters available, such as Dwarf Castle, the Moon, the Underground. The Eblin Cave, yes, and the Tower of Zot. Some of those are sort of skipped on occasion.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of like package checks during this tournament so far. And of course, we've also had the occasional super rare hard required giant because of some of these objectives where one of your characters is gated by the giant, as well as demist gating an item on the giant. Yeah. Hasn't happened a lot, but it's happened a few times. Happened to me week 1.
Yeah, it is rare because you do need 2 objectives gated by that giant, which, yes, you can. 1 is a good possibility, but 2, it's a lot. With only 2 bosses up there and 1 character, is a lot more unlikely. So I don't think we're going to see that today. But who knows? If we are, we're in for a long one, because that giant is usually the very last check.
Yeah, generally in past tournaments, the giant has been a very popular place for runners to go during their grind, doing the D-Machine grinds. But because of a new flag that was added in, not the latest patch, but the next latest patch, because the latest one is the April Fool's patch, we have the Vanilla Giant flag, meaning the exit that was added to the entrance of the giant is no longer there. Meaning, if you want to go to the giant, you have to fight your way past both of those bosses that are up there. And those can be some nasty spots.
It is a very good place for experience, but where there are other places where you can go without having to go through to unknown and very likely difficult bosses. So it looks like our runners are getting set to be underway, and they should be going shortly. Heck, there goes Leonhart, and there goes Rumble.
So we've got Eddie, joined by Sid.
I like this start, actually.
And then there's a white spear, so if you can find a cane, you're set for a while.
Yeah, especially with the dwarf that you get through the beginning, from the beginning starter kit. Cane at this point would be desirable. I do like this start though, because Sid gives you a little bit of early game power, can use that dwarf axe. Eddie, although he doesn't come with a lot, there's a chance he starts with, say, a dancing dagger, or you find a dancing dagger fairly early, and he can contribute. So it's not the be-all and end-all that you find Eddie at this point. Is you could accelerate your early game into a very quick race.
You can also find the spoon somewhere.
Leonhart looks like he's going to check the bed in Kaipo just to see if we can find that video, while Rumblefish looks like they're going to aim for a cane on Mount Hobbs.
That's an edge in the bed, which is not a bad character. So if you get that Sand Ruby early enough, definitely worth coming back for.
Oh, and there's that cane. Oh. Is a Lunar Sparkle?
Oh, hi.
Everyone's just about to be blagged, but that's not bad, I think.
Yeah, we were talking about time zones earlier. We may be going into Wyvern Standard Time.
Yeah, Wyvern will only do one thing at the moment in this particular flag settings at the start. Mega Nuke. Dropping Sid's agility with that dwarf axe and letting Edward put up a star veil should get you through this fight, right? Because and getting that early cane with that white spear going, that sounds really good to me. Somehow though, Cane gets the first turn. Yeah, we're going to need to go to Wyvern Standard Time.
Yeah. Or just leave, I guess. Well,
that works as well. Getting a couple of extra levels on Eddie just to up his agility to make sure he goes first isn't a bad idea.
Rumblefish actually going to loot Evelyn Castle. Not the rarest of plays, but definitely an uncommon one.
I like Evelyn Castle at the moment. If you can find the free trap chests early, you can usually get through this in 4 minutes. And there's usually a lot of good gear in here. We've found a power shell, an earth hammer. Both are very useful for that Sid.
Yeah, there's some good stuff. Kept the dwarf packs though.
There goes the Star Veil on Commander Leonhart's side. Here comes the Mega Nuke. might only just squeak by. Yeah, 2,000 experience in this particular. 2,000 hit damage in this spot. Magic power isn't too high, but one bit is enough, and we do have a dancing dagger, but on the starting cane.
Yeah, just trade that out, and everything's good.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of good power here. Sid with an earth hammer, Kane with a white spear, Eddie with a dancing dagger. This early game seems pretty set right now.
And luckily for our runners, the starting kit that we get also starts off with a handful of star veils, which came in useful right at the beginning. It was a starting item, the white spear was.
Rumblefish is making the play up ordeals straight away. It's an odd one, but did find that power shirt, did find that earth hammer for Sid. Sid, it should be okay to get through the majority of this on his own, actually.
Yeah, first boss is Karate, which, as you well know, has a scripted ending to it. But we're not going to be able to see that because it requires a Paladin Cecil, and even if a Cecil had been picked up, he can't be Paladin until you get past this spot, so you guys gotta do it the old-fashioned way.
And Commander Leonhart has discovered the alternative football gauntlet at football.
It's
making
vanilla,
use of that
but
earth
it's
hammer.
French vanilla.
Is it French vanilla when it's
vanilla, French vanilla swirl? I don't know.
Yeah, but making use of the earth hammer here to do an AoE quake, it's weak, but it should be enough for most of the enemies here.
But correct me if I'm wrong, which I frequently am, but I believe with the Alt Gauntlet flag, it's not the same parties of enemies you would fight in just vanilla Gauntlet.
That is correct. Even though this is the spot that the gauntlet would normally happen, instead of fighting in something like 3 sets of soldier fighters, 1 gargoyle, and a couple of sets of mobs, I think it's a Weeper, Warthag, and Imp Captain. You instead fight 5 distinct battles of the enemies drawn around that particular location. So in this case, we're going to see bombs, we're going to see cockatrices, we're going to see goblins and rats.
Yeah. Well, Rumblefish may want to go back and get that cane, because he's found a back attack Valvalis. So, because of the, safeties in play, Valvalis cannot be gating the only underground progression, meaning that while a hook or a magma key can be past this in the shrine, that would only be the case if the other one is somewhere else, accessible from the beginning.
Yeah.
Which
this spot for Valvalis though is with these 2 characters, with Sid and Edward in their current situation, you're not going to win this fight. Sid cannot get through the physical defense, the magic defense, and Edward can't get through the magic defense if he had a dancing dagger, which he doesn't in this particular spot. So yeah, this is a no-go for Rumblefish. He needs to really get out of this before sooner rather than later. Right now.
Yeah, I can't imagine why he's trying so hard to push through ordeals right now, because he doesn't have Cecil or Tella.
Yeah. Yeah. The Earth Hammer and the Dwarf Axe do both give strength and do give a multiplier to the attack accuracy. So, but you need 5 multipliers at the moment, and Sid at base level with the little extra that you get from the Dwarf Axe or the Earth Hammer is still only on 3, so he cannot hit Valvalis. There's no chance. Her defense is just too. It's perfect defense for her, basically.
Well, we can see Bigan hanging out in the Baron Inn. I guess he got bored in the castle.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to come out and get a drink and find a small girl you want to kidnap.
I was about to say, and threaten a small child. Oh, we've got a purple robe. Hey!
That is required, and it's one of those locations which I find recently has been actually quite packed with objectives. It's a hidden spot, but there's been a few cases where it's been required. So going through this Baron Inn is a very good idea. Here, Commander Leonhart is going to get rewarded for this, and so will Rumblefish afterwards.
And that's an Earth Crystal. It's early. We could see a pretty good opportunity to loot that treasury.
Yeah, because it's so early, it's likely that is going to happen. And it's also their first key item. Because, Fabul hasn't given any, and no one's been to Entlion yet.
And of course, we started off with that white spear. And Rumblefish could not get past Valvalis to see what was on our deals. So I think that means either Antlion has Hook or Magma Key, or Zot has it.
There is the possibility that the Mist is in the waterfall or the Mist Cave. Just hide in there. And also wanting to give the Magma Key or Hook out later, but
that is also a possibility. And Commander Leonhart's gonna go check.
Yeah, it doesn't know that vow is up on ordeals yet. Doesn't really need to go. Doesn't have any real incentive. As you said, Ed, earlier, no Cecil so far, no Kane. No Cecil, no Teller, no Fu. So, going up there isn't really a priority. You might want to go up there for experience, but you'd still have to sort of bash your way through that Valvalis. And even with Kane, that's still a difficult possibility right now.
Mistcave had some dark imps, which you don't want to see. 1, because you're looking for Demist, and 2, because they can be an easier boss later on. And it looks like Waterfall has the dolls.
2 fairly easy bosses. You're not really too unhappy to see the dolls there, because they do split the experience, and you wouldn't be getting full amount for it. So seeing them in the easy spot isn't so bad. The imps, though, where you can life glitch them and do a lot of things to just make them easier, you'd rather see them in a later spot.
Okay, that is a decently nice treasury right there.
Yeah. There was a couple of heroin robes, I believe. Either that, I didn't see too much more than that, but I wasn't really paying too much attention.
Yeah, heroin robes for sure. There was a moon veil in there. Those are valuable.
Commander Leonhart has dived into Antlion and said, Well, Mylon, you wanted to come back with your friends this time. Well, sorry, no. And receives the hook. So that's likely been our way underground, unless the Tower of Zot has something.
Yeah, unless Tower of Zot either gives you the magma key or has a demist that leads to the magma key. Hook is the underground access. I get the feeling that, at the very least, Commander Leonhart's going to go down there to check the character.
It does look that way. They're going to pick up the hovercraft, go and check who the character is, and pick the boss that will be in the Rubicante spot, see if there's anything that's going to block it, and I'm not sure if that he'll go down it and complete it unless it's completely free, because I think Zot is going to be the more desirable play, just to see if there's a magma key happening, as well as finding Rydia for that 5th objective.
Well, we did get a chance to see Edward watch his significant other die, so...
So it's a quick question about where Rumblefish is going to go next. Is he going to go back to take on that Wyvern, get that cane? Or is he going to follow O along into Antlion and get that hook? Maybe he build up his characters a bit before going back there.
Well, we've got Cave Emblana Sirens, so... And
Barcus Wines. So
that's a pretty decent shop. Only 2 items, but 2 really good ones.
Yeah. If there's any 2 items you want for a team that you're going to level up and do just physical strats with, that's one you want. So Rumblefish is just about to find the football gauntlet, and Leonhart, what character?
Rosa, and then that's a Kenatsu and Rubicon. Have fun, y'all.
Zot is definitely on the table right now. You are not going to go through that through Kenatsu at this moment in time. You're going to want a way around it if possible. Also, Zot is on the table, or Deals is on the table. Get some levels, get some power behind you. Hope maybe find a Fu before diving that hook if you have to.
There is also the possibility of that magma key being at Ordeals, with a full party and a cane. It's not unreasonable to be able to get past her. Looks like Leonhart's doing some looting, which this early in the game, I definitely like looting the Cave of Blana route.
Especially the fact that he's seen those sirens, he's seen those Barcus wines. He wants them. He wants them in his inventory. He's getting money now. He stopped because he feels he's got enough chests open before the trap chest was found, but he also feels he's got enough money with that crystal armor, another Stardust rod. I believe one was found in the basic treasury, which I think Rumblefish has looted, but Leonhart hasn't yet. And there was a few other things there that will sell for quite a bit.
Yeah, selling that crystal armor he found. I'm a big fan of selling crystal armors you find, because the only one who can use it is Cecil, and you don't want to put it on Cecil because it stops you from zerking him.
The only sort of time you don't want it like that is if you've got an Avenger, but even then, a power shirt, which we've seen a few of, or heck, just a normal dragoon set of armor or a black belt is more desirable than a crystal armor.
Yeah, it's very much a money item in Leonhart leaving the cave. My guess goes to check ordeals.
Ordeals would be the obvious play next, because as far as Leonhart understands, this is an easier spot for experience to lead into Zot, to lead into the underground, and what he doesn't know is Val is waiting. Rumblefish quickly getting through that football gauntlet, picking up. I still don't know what the item that they got was but picking up their item, and we'll see where he goes next.
It was a charm rod.
Oh, so they received nothing from the king. Gotcha.
Yeah.
A stick with a point with a glowy orb on the end. Rumblefish looks like he's having another bash at that wyvern. Or is that wyvern going to have another bash? Rumblefish.
He's only going down to battle speed 4. I usually play it safe and go down to 5 or 6, but if you can make it at 4, I mean, obviously the battle will go faster.
Not too much, because all you have to do is wait for the explosion from Wyvern. But yep, one Star Veil comes up. This should be a fairly easy win.
There's
for
2, so
Rumblefish. Experience going on to Kane as well, who you really want it on if you've got to go through that Val. Yeah, he won't hit with the jump, but the follow-ups where she's vulnerable, there still will be the opportunity for a few hits.
And then that chest down at the bottom had a Gaia robe. Not gonna go loot the back half, likely because he doesn't have an exit caster.
Gaia robe. Got an Aegis shield, got a Gaia robe. Rumblefish is actually set for Val here. With the Aegis shield, Kane can't be petrified by the rays, and a Gaia robe actually does the same. So he can have 2 people protected, and as long as he can keep their health up, that's actually a fairly safe Val fight. It's not going to be a short Val fight, but it's still a safe one.
Why is Porum dressed like Darth Vader?
Because she's currently being petrified by the rays of Valvalis.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, unfortunately, she is trying to convert to the dark side. I tried to usurp the throne of Rosa. Not working so well because she's just been brought back into the light side.
Alright, Rumblefish gonna try Valvalis again with Kane this time.
Yeah, the jump's just making sure that Valvalis stays in her vulnerable form, or not having the perfect defense that she gets from the tornado, as well as the extra turns from the ray to petrify people. All she does in her vulnerable form is just hit before trying to go back into her tornado. Yeah, no, Leonhart is through this safely, and it's going to be fine.
And now we'll see what awaits us in the shrine here.
And you can see the difference already with Rumblefish's fight. He came in really early with just Sid and Edward. But without the cane at that point, I couldn't hit her. Now every hit is doing in 300-400 damage, which means this won't last too much longer.
So that was a package. Could be a character check leading to Rydia. Could be vanilla there. Or it could be, I don't know, a foo that would make it worth going through the whole ordeal. Or no, this is ordeals. Going through...
Well, it's Kunyatso at Rubicante, so yes, it is an ordeal.
But yeah, definitely not the magma key that I'm sure Leonhart was hoping to see there. Still wondering if he tries to dive it, or take that Earth Crystal to Zot and try his luck there. Zot is a bit of a longer area with only one key item.
Yes, but I think the experience that you get there from the two bosses, as well as the two character chances, is two gated character chances for a Foo or an Edge. I think that outweighs it, because with this team you don't really want to go through Kunyatso as with this setup. It can be done, and let's not I'll take that away, but it's not ideal.
For sure. Don't have anyone who can cast any kind of lit magic.
Yeah.
And
I might have held off this package check until after the Tower of Zot, because because we might have found our Rydia up there, we might have found a Foo up there, which would put you which would set you up, as well as maybe finding Demist, which would be pretty much a double check in that particular spot if you don't find what you want. But Commander Leonhart, just making sure that the package isn't required for that Rydia, heading off to Zot.
Yep, we got a second cane there, which... oh, he's gonna check the treasury. I think there were some cane weapons here, or it may have just been armor.
Mostly armor, but still very useful. Sid can use most of the armor that Kane wears, as Lifestaff, Barker's Wine, Protect Ring. There's that Moon Veil that you said about.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some decent stuff there. So he's not going to be too unhappy. Plus, equipping a heroin robe onto a very, very beefy Rosa at this moment in time, she's going to have some fun throwing arrows at people.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a lot of his party kitted out, and well, anything he doesn't want, he can sell. It's early enough that every little bit will help. Rumblefish checking those bosses at the locations that don't give key items or character checks.
It's been pointed out by Xenocat, our tracker, that both of our white mages have received heroin robes this morning, this evening, whatever time it is, and so they're both going to be very, very good archers right now. I believe Rosa's got a samurai bow, Paul's got an elven bow. Neither have berserk yet, but he did pick up some of those Barker's Wine, so we could see a lot of damage coming out from both of them.
Definitely. And there was even a free Bacchus wine in the treasury. Also, depending on what he finds, he did also get a coffin, so if one of the, like, soldiers is in here.
Yeah, just being able to instantly kill a susceptible boss is a very good thing, such as those the officer guards or one of the Baron guards. A Lunar Sparkle,
It's
you
not
can't use
Wyvern.
on that. Yeah, it's not Wyvern.
D-Lunars. Those Star Veils could come in handy depending on how long this fight takes him.
We're mostly okay here. Kane should be able to deal with an okay amount. Now, these D-Lunars aren't as susceptible to the Holy Element as normal undeads. They're acceptable and susceptible more to the Holy Sword rather than the Holy Element. So Kane's White Spit isn't going to do as much. But we do have a lot of ways to get around them putting up their wall as the counter-attack and going with the virus. So we should be just dealing with the punches and the occasional fires.
Yeah. Also making sure not to use the attack command directly because triggers their walls like that.
But yeah, but when one is left, triggering their wall isn't actually a bad thing because they target each other with their virus. So if they are on their own, they just sit there. They don't do anything on their own. So all that Commander Leonhart has to deal with is the fire, is the flame counters, nothing else.
And Rumblefish is also here at the D-Lunars. Difference here, Leonhart has gotten that character from the hook route, and Rumblefish has not.
Yeah, but Rumblefish did just pick up an Artemis bow in the Flame Dog chest, so that will give him a little bit of extra pump up on Edward. Of course, you don't really want to be attacking directly with this fight, so we might be seeing more slinging of Cure 2 potions. Although, with 4,000 hit points on each one, roughly, there's going to be a lot of hit point, a lot of Cure 2s required for it. There is a Cure 3 in his inventory, though. That would help speed things along.
And Leonhart through the D-Lunars.
Lady Id 19. D-Lunar's script is basically when they're on their own, their script they counter any action against them that targets them. So a jump that targets them will trigger the counter flame. Also, when it lands, it also triggers the counter flame. It's any action that targets them.
Rumblefish bringing out those Star Veils.
Not a bad thing. He's probably seen that his damage is a bit lacking. He's going to go for the Lunar Frog strat and just win it that way. Just finish it up.
Well, we know there's a free fight in the second spot of Dwarf Castle.
Yeah, King Queen Evelyn. That's unfortunate because that particular spot is low health, low magic power, low physical power. You really don't want to see a easy boss sort of sitting there.
Well, there are no Rydias in Tower of Zot.
No Rydias, but experience has been gained, and we still need to find out what the particular reward for this is.
swapping out twins. Not the worst play, considering if you're holding on to 2 white mages.
Yeah, do have the Stardust Rider Black Robe and a whole load of rune rings still. So yeah, Panem can do a fair amount here, and might be more thinking about that Kunyatso right now, having to use him to just mitigate the waves a little bit with Lit 1 or something like that.
And we've got an Octomom swimming through the floor. This is one of those bosses where, as you attack it, it loses its speed, so it starts off really fast, but then, as the tentacles get cut off. So, once you get a rhythm into the fight, it's not too difficult.
Yeah. And flaws of social constructs anyway, so Octomom just ignores them.
Although, seeing that Palom using Lit 1 makes me think, oh yeah, this was a good get to have before being forced into a hook route with a Kinatsu.
Yeah. Lit 1 isn't really effective here because the magic power is so high you actually won't do any damage with it. But it's definitely good for that at Kunyatso, possibly giving a little bit of extra safety against the waves, just dissipating them before they come into play, until your health is, or Kunyatso's health is low enough where it won't affect you. Commander Leonhart, through that, 9,500 experience, very nice. He's going to find out what the boss is very shortly, what the item is very shortly. Rumblefish might have a little bit of a harder time with this particular fight. Eddie's going to do a lot of work with some lit arrows and that Artemis bow, but his hit points aren't quite as high at the moment. And did I just see what I thought I saw on the outside?
That is an objective. Trading away the pink tail. We've already got the hook. We just got the pink tail. Now, he's just got to find where he left the hovercraft to turn it in. And
as a good friend of the community says, as Invenerable, dude, where's my hovercraft? Going to check this in. A Avenger would be really nice right now.
I mean, that would be great if we didn't start with that white spear.
There's a lot of things that a Dragoon Lance can do that a white spear can't, though.
Yeah.
And I actually feel there's a reason why it's a tier 7 piece of loot, while the white spear is a tier 6. The power it gives over dragons is quite amazing, and because there's the majority of the grinds that you do involve dragons.
Yeah, honestly, it's worth keeping both spears and just trading them out as needed.
Commander Leonhart was thinking about going back underground, but making a quick stop off at Baron. I think he might be looking for 4 rages.
Possibly. It would not be a bad idea to go searching the shops to find them when you know what's waiting for you, and Palom is your only one who can cast lit magic.
Yeah, Palom's good for it, but he hasn't had opportunity to gain a whole lot of levels, and he is one of the slower characters in the game. So getting his counter turns at the correct time might be a bit of a problem. But with 4 rages, you can just use them on any character at hopefully the correct time.
And they take as much time as any other item to use, pretty much.
Yeah, 1 tick of game time. Rumblefish picking up his hook from the wonderful Mylon and friends. And both of our runners are going to have 2 objectives completed before going underground. That's a little bit scary on occasion.
Leonhart really stocking up on those life potions. Grabbed a bunch, went to check the other shop, and then came back and grabbed more.
Don't blame him. He's probably expecting to maybe fight the Mad Ogre chest on the way down to the King Queen Evelyn and Rubicante spots. So picking up a few life potions and isn't trusting his characters to stay alive. So a few extras just to make sure aren't a bad idea.
Yeah, definitely having a lot for life glitches is good. Mad Ogres are a good thing to do. That chest of 4 that's in the tower. If you wanted to go find the stack of 3 that's in Evelyn Castle, there's that too. Probably not going to look for the Staleman chest in the cave. And then, of course, there's plenty of grinds on the moon that take great advantage of the life glitch.
Rumblefish not picking up the item from the pink tail just yet, making their dip into Cave of Blana. Going to see them sirens, going to see them Barkus wines, be happy that they're both in the seed, and then see that Kenyatso and wonder why they're actually playing the game. Definitely a time to pick up 10 sirens though here. You don't know really what how quickly you're going to be in go mode at this point. You don't know what your grind's exactly going to be, although you might have some idea. Picking up 10 sirens, if you can get them 10 Barkus wines as well, you should be set for the majority of the seed.
And those Thor Rages have been located at Silvera.
Which he was just at to pick up that pigtail item. And he's probably going, wasn't that the last check he had except for Mysidia?
I think so.
Commander Leonhart, I feel that. You go all the way around looking for that one item and it's always in the last place that you can check. Gambit brings up a very good possibility with Demis being at that package spot. I don't think anyone's going to check that unless they see a gating boss here, which can only be Golbez, as he states. If it's not, and it does end up being Demis there with the Magma Key, well played, Leggy Starscream, roller of this sea today.
Oh, Xenocat is pointing out the package was behind Val.
Actually, no, he can't. So yeah, this has to be our logical way underground.
That being said, it is still possible that D-Mist is at the Kaipo N on the package route, and then Rydia's mom gives you the Magma Key, but it can't be Golbez down here. And there's that Mad Ogre chest. They're classified as mages.
Which is interesting because you get, at the start of the game, in the Dwarven starter kit, you get given 10 rune rings, which give mage defense. And our runners, at least Rumblefish, has picked up an Aegis shield, which also gives mage defense. So these Mad Ogres, except for maybe Sid, who usually has a lot of hit points anyway, should be defending against them quite nicely. So no real need to really stop them or mini them, because you won't be taking that much damage. Plus, with heroin robes, a whole load of defense anyway, you're fine.
And I forget what arrows Rosa's equipped with, but she's doing a lot with them.
Yeah, I don't think they're mute arrows. They look like lit arrows. So, but Berserk and with a heroin robe, that would account for the amount of damage that they were doing.
That's an Avenger.
Speaking about that Avenger, Kane is going to make that work against Kunyatsu. Rumblefish has skipped it.
Get a nice Avenger glitch going.
Yeah, Rumblefish has skipped it. He's gone straight for the boss, which are the
It's
Baron
free.
Guards.
And they've both got that coffin out of the coffers, so... Of course, no reason to use the life glitch here, because, no experience.
Yeah. No experience for this spot. King Queen Evelyn is a scripted fight, so it sort of ends without the fight being won. So no experience is gained in that fight, so there's no experience in this particular area. The next one, you can get a whole load out of, though. Rubicante a sort of makes up for it with 25,000 experience, so you definitely want as many characters alive at the end of it as possible. No real other way of getting through these guards easily, though. So, yeah, we've found one coffin, and yeah, we've got mage resistant gear and mage killing gear. Yeah, but there's not a whole lot outside of this in a very physical heavy spot. But so their punches are going to do quite a bit. There's no hourglasses. Mini isn't really available for our white mages at the moment, and Toad isn't available, so you're going to have to take this on the chin and just brute force it, which both of our runners have done.
So, here comes the fun part.
Setup wise, I like Commander Leonhart right now. Having that Avenger, having done a few, got extra levels on his Rosa and Porum, because they've been in the team a little bit longer. Not to say that Rumblefish is completely out of it, but it's just going to be a little bit more difficult for him. Saying that, Leonhart is the first to reset.
Yeah, I guess he decided he wanted to bump down his speed just a tad.
Yeah, and that first wave coming out. The other issue both of our runners have here is they don't have a whole lot of agility manipulation options. Commander Leonhart has Palom in the center, which is probably the best option, and could also use Sid with a Dwarf Axe, bring the speed down. But there's not a whole other lot of options for it. Rumblefish has basically none, and it has the same things, but just on a lesser scale. There's been no cursed ring found to make this pretty much academic. But with Kane swinging that sword, that big sword of his for 2,000 hits, it shouldn't take too long.
Rumblefish went back for the Mad Ogre chest, which, don't blame him, definitely a good choice. Even without that Avenger being in it, the experience is definitely good to have.
Yeah, he's going to be really happy when that Avenger pops out. He's going to see that as his route through this particular fight. Plus, the experience on Rosa here is not a bad thing to happen.
Leonhart is timing these Thor Rages mostly well. That one went off a bit too early, but he's been timing them so that he's using it, and then Kainatsu gathers the water, and then it just goes off. No wave.
Yeah. And at this point, the waves shouldn't be doing really too much damage. Maybe a couple, maybe 300-400 at most. But by now, but Kane is well on his way to surviving them. Same with Sid. Rosa, I think, is safe as well. Just let them go. Let them go to town. And Kane will happily say, yes, please.
And Kainatsu's just gonna hide. And that's the indication that the fight is almost over.
Yeah. You can get into a loop with Kainatsu healing himself, but Kane is out damaging in Kainatsu's heals right now. I think Kainatsu can heal for 2,500, and Kane should be getting 2 to 3 hits between each heal. And plus, berserking Sid up just to ensure this. Yeah, this fight will be over in just a moment.
Yeah. Rumblefish getting a bunch of levels off of that. And there's his Avenger as well.
Of course, the hiding in the shell does up Kainatsu's defense each time it's used. So, do need to be a little bit on the clock here, but we should be fine. Especially with a nice 2 coming out just to finish the job.
Yep.
And everyone through the fight, picking up that 25,000 experience. Very nice for... Yeah, very nice for that Palom getting up to Quake. Rosa's going to be happy to see it. Even Edward, for all that he's done or is going to do in the future, probably not a whole lot. He was very pivotal to the start of this seed.
But yeah, that can be one of the scariest fights in that spot, and, you know, Commander Leonhart handled it like a champ.
Let's see if Rumblefish can continue on the same vein. Does have that Avenger on, but not quite doing as much damage there, I think. Was that just 400 and a bit?
Yeah, I think part of the issue is that Commander Leonhart got the Kane like first thing in the seed, and Rumblefish, I don't like. Rumblefish didn't get him until after most of the overworld was complete, so he's definitely a few levels behind at least.
I think the thing that Leonhart's Kane had more in favour though was the power shirt that was equipped to his Kane. I don't think Rumblefish has that. I think it's currently on Sid, or but we'll have to see. If he gets through this, he should be fine. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Rumblefish didn't skip the treasury. Both of them did treasury.
And he did pick up a second power shirt in Cave of Blana. It was in one of the first 3 chests. I think it was the second chest. But I believe he sold that almost immediately because of those sirens and Barker Swines.
Which, can't say I blame him too much. Also, back attack eggs are always fun.
Yeah. Eggs over easy. Next, going to pick up that free heal from the Dwarven Pot. I expect the next stop is going to be into Dwarf Castle. We'll character check, see if we can pick up that Rydia. It's got a key item as well. We still need the Twin Harp, Away to the Moon, and the Legend Sword or the Adamant, or both. Getting blocked on every side, every entrance there, but being rewarded with some Hourglass 2s.
Definitely good to have. They are useful for pretty much any grind that isn't like the eggs.
I think eggs are going to be our either the eggs or King Ryu's are going to be our grind. The Hourglass 2s are going to be useful for that. The Dragoon Spear in Kane's hands will carve them up, especially Avenger Glitched. So
there's a Golbez in the front spot. I mean, we know that the back is free, but you gotta sit through Golbez.
Yeah, this could be problem. This spot isn't too dangerous if you can get through the if you can get your Star Veils up early. But this spot's magic power is surprisingly high. Right. And jumping with Kane to see if he can get over the Shadow Dragon's attacks. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to come down a little bit before the Shadow Dragon starts eating.
Yeah. Kane had to go. His planet needs him.
We'll find out once this little bit of text ends. Oh! That's excellent on Leonhart's side. He's only going to have 2 characters killed instantly. The Shadow Dragon is going to leave now. Rose is going to pick up a Star Veil. Kane's going to pick one up as well very shortly. This fight is in the bag for him. He's not going to be worried if Edward bites a virus or a lip free now.
Rumblefish on the shell shock for Kainatsu.
I'm a little worried for his damage at the moment, and because I don't think he's got quite enough just with Kane to get through this, to get through the heals of Kanyatsu. But he's supplementing it with some Palom viruses and some Rosa arrow shots, so should be okay. But just needs to make sure the damage keeps coming.
Golbez and Kenatsu are both down.
Yeah. So both of our runners have underground access. They're both through. Congratulations to both of them. That's a very tough boss to get through. Rumblefish can doing a bit of setup after an initial bad time. Leonhart also making sure they're set up before having to go through it. But both through in just under an hour. You're always happy to see the seed continue, especially when you see Kenatsu there.
Dismissing Sid for Yang. Okay, bye, Queen.
I'm
that Avenger just
yeah,
not even giving time for the script to start.
Yeah, Avenger does work. Picking up Yang here, I'm okay with it. Yang doesn't need a whole lot really to get going, just levels, and the grind hasn't exactly happened yet. He's done one egg.
Yeah, I still feel like I would have taken, if I was taking Yang, I would have taken him over Edward, because there's no spoon or anything, and I feel like in the end game, Sid would be more useful than Edward, but maybe that's just me. He's definitely too high of a level to anchor.
Yeah, Edward is too high for that Darkness Crystal, but I think he's holding out for a better anchor for to swap out for that Edward. Just let Edward just do a few things first, and I really think it's going to be that Rydia that shows up if she does.
I'm trying to think who, because we still got the lunar character, and then we've got the one in.
We've seen giant. Edge in the bed. We've got the giant. We've got the lunar. We've got Baron. I'm just thinking who of the team that we got left. I don't. Yeah, Cecil and Fu are not in this seed. We've seen everyone else.
Yeah, because we know Rydia has to be here.
Yeah, and we've seen every other character. So Cecil and Fu are not around. So you can build your team and sell your items knowing that if you have been keeping track. So there's a very good possibility that that Rydia is up on the moon.
If she's not on the moon, then we know where she is.
Baron or the Giant.
Oh, we haven't seen Tella anywhere either.
Oh, yeah, Tella. Tella could be a good option for Anchor, though. So,
Cecil, Fu, and Tella, two of them are not in the seed. And since we haven't seen any X-Cals or Crystal Swords, I'm assuming that means Cecil is in the seed somewhere.
We have seen a light sword, a lightsaber, so there's still the possibility he disappears. Yes. So Leonhart's got 2 character checks on his plate right now.
Edge is in the bed at Kaipo. No one's got the Sand Ruby yet, though.
So we really so we know, and we've got access to our 3 remaining character spots. Really, you need to find the key items you need, and I think that's why Leonhart is down here more than going to the moon to check that character right now. We still need the Twin Harp, the Adamant, or the Legend Sword.
Well, that's a free Ashura spot.
Yeah, we've got hourglasses. Everyone's at 1 HP, so you might want to be a bit quick here. We'll get that coffin off and hope it happens. It didn't. I don't think this fight's going to go the way that Commander Leonhart is wanting it. Okay, maybe it will.
Yeah, now they're just gonna be busy fighting each other.
Which does give him the opportunity to raise up his characters, make sure everyone gets full experience for this. Rumblefish has taken on Golbez and won with a bunch of pigs.
Yeah, not using life glitch, but I imagine that if it's not a good item, he's probably just reset out of it.
I think he's going to keep the experience, and so this spot is still a fair amount of it, 20,000 experience, I believe. So it's not it's not a small amount, and it saves on a egg later, or half an egg later.
Yeah. Protect rank.
That's not a bad item to keep hold of as well.
Yeah.
You really want some extra little defense and things for the Zeromus fight later. Kane can make good use of that if you don't have a strength increasing item for him. Yang, I think the Rune Ring is a little bit better for him, at least at this early stage. Maybe good for him later. Protect Ring's good for him later. But everyone else you want Rune Rings on.
And not gonna fight Ashura right now. Do his French vanilla right in this seed.
Yeah. Commander Leonhart does have an easy way through Asura. You do have Blink on Rosa. But yeah, I can see why he wouldn't want to go through that right now. It's still 35,000 hit points that you need to get through. That's not a small amount. And
Yeah,
you don't really have any great mage killing gear. You've got great mage defense, but not mage killing equipment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Rosa has learned Wall yet.
Well, you don't really need that. No, you've got Star Veils. They should suffice.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why use up your Star Veils using at least 2 to do it when you could just cast cast magic and be done with it?
True, but what else do you have to use the Star Veils on? Yeah, there's the Zeromus, but there's also we've already fought with, and you've also fought Golbez. There's only really a Bahamut, and Bahamut's.
Yeah, that's true. We have done Wyvern, Golbez, and D-Lunars, so that's true.
Leonhart's deciding to go up to the moon, though. Check the character up there. Surprised they're not doing Baron first, because that is a key item check. 2 if you want to do the underground throne as well as the character check. But might just want to get this off the plate and say, okay, this is my character. If I find the Twin Harp in Baron, I'm in go mode. And I can do my grind on the Earth rather than doing anything on the moon. Rumblefish is hot on Leonhart's heels, though, coming down to the Fey Marsh, going to pick up their Baron key. He probably look at the bosses and likely try that officer and soldiers fight as well, the Kaipo guards, before heading, I would say, in likely a similar direction to where Rumblefish is going now.
There's our Rydia.
So Moon Rydia. Swap out for Edward. I'm going to guess right now. Now, there's your there's Leonhart's agility anchor.
Nope.
I
am puzzled as to why he's keeping that Edward, but
I am shocked.
Does he just think he's destined to get the spoon?
Well, everyone wants to be destined to get the spoon, but I'm a bit shocked at that. Now, Rydia has been the anchor of choice for a lot of runners. I'm happy to see that she's not being used in that way because I'm a very big Rydia fan and like using her for her skills rather than her agility, low agility at level 1. But she is, and I will admit it, she is the obvious choice as an agility anchor in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Rydia too, but, like, if I get a Rydia that I could use as an anchor, that, you know, it's kind of a pretty obvious choice to me. I don't know, maybe Commander Leonhart is just trying to stay on Asuka's good side.
Well, aren't we all trying to do that?
Because he knows she's gonna have to roll a seed for him again sometime.
Probably tomorrow. He might have also put a bet with her, saying, "If I get rid of Edward, you're going to create me the worst seed that you can make." And he doesn't want that happening. Oh, it doesn't need to be a Lali-Ho League flag per se. Just say a random happy. This is your punishment flag. Except.
I mean, look, Asuka, at least you're not the one who rolled me the required giant week 1.
Alright, so Rumblefish is trying on this fight. Doesn't have the coffin that Leonhart did. It looks like they will sell in Kaipo, which I think Rumblefish has skipped over. So he's having to do this the tough way. But Quake here should take out the soldiers, and the officer will likely run away very shortly.
Yep, there he goes.
Zoom! Not as much experience, but you've seen the sirens, you're not really that worried about it. If you've got your grind set, you don't worry about where you get your experience at this moment in time.
But Dark Elf taking enough damage from the immediate hit from Kane with the Avenger. Just one hit and changed. So, Lu is usurping the throne today. That is a Leviathan. Alright. It is better than the other noodle. Although, at this point, I don't think either one would be much to worry about on this spot. Maybe if it was the lower throne. But this should take 2. Yep. And it's already down. And Rumblefish going to take on the Ashura. Which, if there's something required here, that could give him an edge over Commander Leonhart. Well, that's a food. Yep, okay. There goes the Eddie.
Boo, boo. So we're missing Teller and Cecil.
Yep.
Oh well.
And everybody dropping their foo-woos. But we'll see if Rumblefish can take out Ashura and what she is holding.
Rumblefish is in a slightly better position for this, mostly because he's got 2 sources of blink. If he can just stop Kane from berserking, getting those blinks up just means that Asura is pretty much not going to hit you. Plus, you have that Moon Veil, which means you're safe from most of her attacks.
So, somebody threw an adamant away in the barren trash can.
Well, who wants a bit of rock?
And then Commander Leonhart committing the cardinal sin of not face-checking the basement throne before leaving.
This might pay out, though. No, Sheila might have that Legend Sword. No.
Artemis arrows are not terrible. I would walk them out for sure.
Yeah, they're not terrible, but they're not really what you need. You've got a Dragoon Spear, so you don't really need them for the dragon attack. He's got a Samurai Bow, so you might want to use Rosa as a Berserker style later, but I'm not sure how Leonhart's going to set it up. Well, I guess we're going to find that out when we get to there.
Yeah.
Fu, though, coming with the all-powerful Rod.
In Rod we trust. But Rumblefish seems to have given up on Ashura for now.
Not a bad idea. Yes, he's got a good way of getting through that particular fight. Lots of good ways to get through it. But it's still a long fight, and you can't really let up. So him just saying, not right now. Now, we know that there's 2 key items still out there. The Adamant is behind that Baron Key, so we just need a Legend Sword or a Twin Harp. They could be on the moon, they could be at that Odin throne, they could be behind that Asura, but only one of them can be, so the other one is out there.
The truth is out there.
Leonhart saying, okay, let's go back and check that. I almost forgot about it.
So, right now, Rumblefish isn't too far behind Commander Leonhart. Even though he doesn't have number 3 lit up, he does have the hook and Pinktail, and just needs to go turn it in. And
that DKC in that particular spot is the 3rd time I've seen it in 3 days. Are our seed rollers conspiring with each other to make sure that DKC is there?
oh, and speaking of, Rumblefish is going to go turn in that Pinktail. Yeah, we were thinking he may have been holding off to see if he got the rat tail, but I guess he just wants to.
Not a bad play. You're going to come up and do this anyway. You had pretty much what you wanted set out with Kane. In the end, it's only a Dragoon Spear. It's not. You've got a decent weapon in that white knight spear. The only upgrade would be an Avenger, and he's got one of those from the Mad Ogre chest. So no need to do it early. Pick it up now. Go find that video on the moon.
And from here, the question is, he goes to the moon. Does he just check that Rydia and then come back to Earth? Or does he stay up there and try to fight his way through the moon? Because that's always the big question, because you've got that, like, you've got six key item checks behind 5 bosses in the lunar subterrane, and then you've also got cave value.
Speaking of that rat tail, though, DKC is holding it today. So another check for Commander Leonhart. Likely going to be doing that before going to the moon himself. I think Kasura is going to be just sitting there saying, waved hi as she passed. I'll let you beat up her consorts, and then waved goodbye as you exited.
I'm expecting this rat tail to be the spoon just to taunt Commander Leonhart for having, like, finally traded Eddie in for food.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm not saying he's gonna regret it, I'm just saying it would just taunt him. Oh, tower key.
Chain.
So if anybody wanted to see Commander Leonhart do keyless tower, and we are now equal in terms of number of completed objectives. Rumblefish not keeping Rydia as an anchor either.
I'm a little bit surprised about that. I'm happy, as I said, I'm happy, but it's just surprising and really. And with a tent on the moon, it feels like Rumblefish is going to be staying up here for a while.
Did either runner peek who the boss at top of tower was when they left?
I don't remember seeing it. So...
Oh, it's Sparkle, so... We've still got Plague and...
Ogo and Pale Dim.
Pale Dim? Yeah.
Hmm.
We have already seen Wyvern. Wyvern was on Hobbs.
Ogo's probably the most dangerous here, but with a Avenger on Kane and a Fu, you're not worried. Plague is pretty much trivial. Pale Dim doesn't hit hard enough, and you've got a Dragoon Spear and Artemis Arrows. So, yeah, pretty much any of the Lunar Sparkles here, you don't really care too much about it. You're just going to blaze through it with the best piece of gear in your artillery.
Well, Rumblefish is doing a King Ryu grind.
Making use of those hourglasses that were picked up, the sirens, and that Dragoon Spear. Dragoon Spear will make very quick work of this. There's 4,000 and really is just the start. As Kane gets up in levels, he's going to be one-shotting them with quadruple 9s. It is Plague, but Plague here, the count is just going to go from 10 to 0 and likely just stick on 0 because I think he's fast enough to not have it resolve.
Yeah, with the Berserk strats.
Plus, I don't think he's even going to get to 0 with Quake and the Avenger swings happening.
Well, Quake's not going to do anything to him.
Sorry, nukes and... Yeah, you're absolutely right. He is sort of flapping his wings. Is he flapping his wings? Or is he just...
It looks like he's just hovering up and down, but not, like, flapping anything.
That's what Plague is. He's a bouncy ball.
It's Mike Wazowski.
So plague down, 1 key item incoming for Leonhart.
It's a pass. Not a bad thing to have.
No, you're if you have to go to the moon, you're happy about coming down for the Twin Harp or the Legend Sword now, because you don't have to go back up there to
Yeah,
get
exactly.
to Zoromas.
If the last thing you need is on the moon, then you have to come back to claim it anyway, so...
So check Tower Key, see what we get there. Odin here.
The least threatening Odin you've ever seen. Just... yeah, with less than 1,000 HP in this spot, that 2,500 immediately just...
Yeah, I believe it's 600, which is spread across the 3 Dark Imps, with having 200 each. So, yeah, this spot is a place where you want to see a very high tier boss being placed, and don't want to see something like Water Hag, Gold Bears, or Gauntlet.
So, Rumblefish is doing his grind with only 6 key items, but at this point, like, doing a grind, like, now and not waiting to get the 10 key item bonus is not a terrible idea, because, I mean, if the next checks you get are, you know, say
if his next check is the Twin Harpies in go mode. So, yeah, this, and between the Twin Harp and the crystal, that still won't put him into 10 key item territory, so doing it now isn't a bad choice.
Yeah.
It's going to cost a couple of extra sirens to get his levels, but I don't think he's going to be too unhappy with where he's at.
So that whole chain leading to the tower key is it's a path to go mode.
It's leading to the Twin Harp. So you really, really need to go to Baron and Rumblefish. It's got 2 things in there. That Baron key is hard required. Of course, finding Water Hag up on the moon is nice.
Yeah, that Twin Harp put Commander Leonhart at 10 key items, so he's getting double XP now.
Even making use of that random Noctis that he found in for 1 damage, which is enough to defeat the Water Hag. Good job, Paul. Crystal Ring's nice. Not exactly what you're looking for right now, though.
Yeah, pretty much the only crystal thing that could be used by someone other than Cecil, though, so it could have been worse.
Oh yeah, no, at this moment in time, my thinking, if you're looking for an item and to put on the hand spot in your inventory for one of the fighters, the Crystal Ring is actually better, in my opinion, than say a Zeus Gauntlet or a Strength Ring. Yeah, you get more multipliers from a Zeus Gauntlet or a Strength Ring, usually. But the defensive power of a Crystal Ring is absurd. Dragon defense, lots of magic defense, lots of physical defense. So I really think it's a superior option, but I think we need to be quiet because I think chat are wanting something.
So, does Paladin being here count as French vanilla?
It's sort of vanilla to the normal chocolate that you get here.
And Legend Sword.
Wow.
Moon is very haunted, other than that Rydia.
Yeah, that you hate to see that if you're just looking at it from the outside. Rumblefish has no idea that everything that he needs is on the earth through that Baron key. He's got it. He's got the route to it. He just needs to come back down. Hopefully he does, but
so that Baron key was the free item in the Feymarch, and then from Baron you get the adamant from the first item check, and then the rat tail from Basement Throne. That led to Tower Key, which led to Twin Harp, which also had the Legend Sword, meaning that entire chain was 100% required for everything that wasn't Mylon Z or Rydia.
On a good note, though, Rumblefish is down.
Pinktail was already.
Oh, yeah, good. Rumblefish is down. He's going to Baron. He's getting on the route. This is great news for him. He's still in this race. Commander Leonhart still needs to do a little bit of grind. Rumblefish has already done on most of his. So with a few hiccups from Leonhart, but he's definitely firmly in control here of this race. But a few hiccups, a few wipes to Zromus, which can happen. Rumblefish could be back in this very quickly.
Yeah, if he does the first Baron and then immediately goes to the Basement Throne and then follows that chain all the way through.
It's a long chain. You can't state it otherwise. It's a long chain. There's a lot of fights you've got to go through this. But there's no. Let's not discount out the way things can go wrong in this game. I mean, your grind can go wrong on occasion. It's not likely. As I said, Commander Leonhart is firmly in control, but anything can happen. And there's no particular real horrifying boss in this chain. I mean, it's just really get through them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, the hardest thing is surviving Dark Knight Cesspool. But I don't think he's going to have any trouble with it.
No, he's going to have that Fu available, which is likely going to swap out for Porum, shore up his hit points that way. Kane's in safe territory already. Sid's in safe territory already. Heck, even Rosa is. So it's just how quickly can Rumblefish just get through these things. Commander Leonhart is definitely well on his way, though. He's frying up some eggs with that Avenger. I'm not sure how he does that with a plain sword instead of a fire sword, but there you go. So in terms of our other objectives, the Pinktail was behind the Tower of Zot today. which didn't really have too much else required. The hook, which was our way underground, was behind Antlion and Cave. Mylon Z was taking the hidden spot in the inn, in the Baron Inn, and Rydia was on the moon.
And yet again, no required giants.
Looking at that Fu, he doesn't know who's down in that basement throne at the moment. He's going to go peek it. There's no doubt about it. But taking that out, swapping out for Sid, we can pretty much see what Rumblefish's strategy going into Zeroma's fight is going to be. It's going to be the reflect strategy. He put get everyone up to nuke or white, bounce everything off of Kane, and then just skip that refill. That happens at around halfway through Zeromus's health.
And heck, even with that white spear, Kane can cast white.
That would be interesting. That is not something I've seen, but yeah, that would be interesting. Having Kane join in the festivities because he has a item that can actually cast a spell that can be reflected. I don't think it's going to happen, and because I don't think anyone but you have really thought about it. But it also isn't exactly the strongest spell, and it takes up a lot of animation and time.
Yeah.
Okay, apparently Xenocat has done it as well, so you're not the only one that's thought about it.
No. I'm sure nothing that I've thought about in this game is original.
Rumblefish, though, is on the route. He has found that Dark Knight. He should be safe through this. Three very quick dark waves, and the Dark Knight will disappear, giving that rat tail. But on our other screen, Leonhart is off to Zeromus.
Now, presumably Rumblefish is gonna go check that rat tail right now. Question is, does he decide to go to tower or not?
I think he'll follow it. I really think he'll follow it. He'll probably do the same thing and go to the top of the tower first, then go and face that Odin. But with Leonhart going to Zeromus, we do not move him, we do not change him, except for one small thing, and we have to fight him so many times. We really just got bored of what he looks like. So instead, we change his appearance. We change what he looks like, so we don't have to look at his ugly mug every single time. But that usually brings along a question. Dijon, do you remember what that question is? I keep forgetting it.
The question is Z?
Okay.
I think Project just went to go mow the lawn. But, whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Well, it's going to be Zeromus. Just what he looks like, we'll find out in a moment. We need to sort of take away his mask first.
Nobody cared who he was until he put on the mask.
Yeah. It's when he became invulnerable.
I hope it's a new sprite.
Well, we won't find out until about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Ish.
What is a Zeromus?
A pile of miserable secrets behind that mask, apparently. So Dracula from, I believe this is Castlevania? I'm not entirely certain, and I'm not sure which one as well.
Now we just need Edward playing Bloody Tears.
Would have been nice, but it's very hard to match up sometimes. But we had a decent Twin Harp song. We've got a very detailed Zeromus sprite today, and well, Commander Leonhart is looking like he's just taking the hybrid strats, letting everyone chip into this damage.
So if Zeromus is Dracula, does that make Cecil a Belmont?
No, because he's not in this seed.
Oh. Well, then, not every main character in a Castlevania game is a Belmont.
Plus, I actually see Edward as more of a vampire slayer than anyone else in this group of characters. I'm not sure why.
Zoe pointing out, Rydia does have whips.
Yeah, and we do have a Castlevania set technically in this randomizer. So, and that usually comes with a whip and 3 crosses. So, does that also mean that we can't beat Dracula because we didn't have that set? Damage is coming out very smoothly for Leonhart, though. I don't think he's in any trouble at all. Rumblefish has just beaten Odin, so he's on his way to pick up his Twin Harp and get at go mode very shortly.
So, does this explain why Zeromus is weak to Holy?
A little bit. More nukes, more whites, more attacks. There's not really much you can say about this particular Zeromus fight, except it's been very textbook.
So once Commander Leonhart defeats Dracumus, does he have to do it again, but inverted?
No, unfortunately, you can't go from defeating Zeromus to actually destroying everything in the world. Not this time.
Well, bye Yang.
That's a little bit of a worry.
Especially
since everything was queued up on that Yang.
You steal men's star veils.
Kane needs to pull out the damage here, though. This fight got sideways very quickly, didn't it?
The blue planet built a savior such as you.
But that straight nuke is enough. Dragimus is dissipating into the ether below him. Commander Leonhart has won with a time of 1 hour, 43 minutes and 57 seconds. He is moving to 2-2, joining the very, very stacked group in that, but he has kept himself alive. And we're going to see if he comes on in for an interview very soon.
Oh, yep. There he is right now.
Darn, we were just talking about how really, really, really great you are at this game, Commander Leonhart. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the kind words.
So, for my first question for you, what is a Zeromus?
Miserable pile of secrets.
Are you certain about that? So, yeah, you didn't have to go to the moon, apart from Rydia. Are you happy about that? Well, actually, you didn't even have to go to the moon, because that Rydia technically wasn't required, because Legend Sword behind that twin harp. So,
yeah,
what are your feelings about everything on the...
I'm glad I did none of it. I'm glad that nothing was up there where I wasn't. That always feels good.
Yeah, moon haunted.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been seeing about these flags lately. It's either been hard required moon or nothing on the moon. There's not really been too much of a combination between the two. But since you don't know what you're getting into, what is your first thinking about when you go into a seed? Which do you plan for or most? Do you plan for Earth, or do you plan to go to the moon as soon as possible? What's your normal thinking about when you start a seed?
And usually, when I start a seed, I'm not that far yet. All things being equal, I will default to clearing the Earth. But that really depends on what happens when I get the seed open, as to whether that ends up being the play.
Yeah.
In this particular case, sorry. In this particular case, when I had darkness, I still had plenty left on Earth. I knew I had found Rydia when I made it to the moon. I just needed... I don't think I had Adamant yet. That was Baron Basement, if I remember right. And so I was hoping Twin Harp, but I knew Baron had 2 key items. It was probably the most efficient thing on the table. Plus, I wanted to commit to the moon, which really didn't want to with so many things still on Earth.
Yeah, it's a very good thing that you didn't. Starting with that white spear, seeing that cane up on Mount Hobbs.
Yeah.
Sid Edward really isn't a bad start, considering what you can get from both of them. But that cane just shored up your early game aim for certain, didn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, Sid Edward is a much better start when you find an Earth Hammer in the Hypo Weapon Shop. That told me, hey, why would I loot Watery Pass? I'm good to go. Let's just move. That felt very nice. And Kane said, hey, I see you have a white spear. Anyone want to use this dancing dagger? Not doing me any good.
And Edward snapped that up and said, I'm contributing!
Yes, I'm a helper! Pew, 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 pew.
So, what was it that made you hold on to the Edward as long as you did?
Where's my boy? Hey. That's it. That's all I've got. I mean, you hope for a spoon. These flags generally are not jetty enough for Eddie strats, although I did buy my Starveil stack just in case it popped loose real fast. If I find a spoon, I'll take him to Zeromus and be happy. But yeah, Eddie, my boy, fight me. That's all I got.
So it was mostly to just appease Asker and just say, you can't give me a bad seed because I didn't keep him as long as I did.
I mean, Oscar gonna give me a bad seed no matter what. That's not gonna do it. But sure.
Okay.
This guy's a reputation.
The win today, though, brings you to 2-2. You're still in the tournament, which is probably your first relief. And then you're likely going to look at everyone else who's in that 2-2 bracket and start panicking again. Anything that you're going to think about going into next week and the week beyond? Because you definitely need 2 wins if you're thinking about brackets.
Yeah, still need 2 more wins. I mean, 1 match at a time. When you're on 2 losses, that's all you can do. Honestly, last week, I didn't bother to look at the 1 and 2 bracket. I was like, I'll find out who I'm playing when it comes time. Turned out I got a pair up, so it's just as well. I didn't spend an infinite amount of time worrying about who was in the 1 and 2 bracket. At least I can't be paired up again. Those are the rules. But for all I know, I could be paired down next week. Actually, no, I can't. Rules say no, I can't be paired down because that's someone eliminated. Exercise and logic leads to, yes, I'm playing someone in the 2 and 2 other than Rumblefish, and I'll worry about it when the pairings come out. Conveniently, I don't have that long to wait.
Yeah, it's going to be up in around about within at least 10 hours. I'm sure the tournament admins are on it very, very quickly.
One of the advantages of being the last match of the week.
So, do you have any other little things about this seed before we let you go, let you relax, and probably do random things for the rest of the evening?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the VOD. There are a lot of fights that I felt could have cost me a lot of time, but that I was able to work through pretty efficiently, partly due to the Earth Hammer, partly due to other things. Be curious to watch Rumblefish alongside me and see if he got through the fights as efficiently as I did, or if there's something that tripped him up that I was able to make a little time on. Always, of course, thank you all on the comms team, the podcast team. That's the word I want. Drek, Dijon Ketchup. Really looking forward to your commentary. And please scroll over. Who's tracking? Who rolled this? Leggy rolled this, right? Yes, Leggy rolled this. And Xenocat was tracking. There we go. Perfect. Xenocat, thank you for lighting up all of the buttons. Leggy, nice roll. I approve of Haunted Moons. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good evening in Leonhart, and thank you for putting on the show today.
Glad to.
So, I would just like to point out that as the spoiler log was rolling, Radio's mom does actually have the magma key.
That package?
No, unfortunately, the spoiler roll at the end does not say where D-Mist was, though. So, like, now I'm curious.
Maybe our tracker Xenocat has a small idea. I know that they like to sort of go through the seed as they're sort of tracking a little bit themselves. So they might have an idea. But we may never know as well. So it's somewhere out there.
Oh, they said in chat they don't know where D-Mist is, so.
Oh well.
If anyone figures out, just throw it out in the Discord.
As for Rumblefish, their Zeromus fight is risky. Looking at their experience, their hit point levels at the moment, their levels aren't that high. Low 40s, I would say, at the moment.
Yeah. So I don't think he did any more grinding after.
I think Rosa's got up Cure 4 as her highest level skill. But that's about it. It's looking like we're going with Palom with tier 3 spells, putting it all on the back of Kane and Fu with his Avenger Sword and nuke spells. And Porum, okay, Virus works as well. Porum's just, it looks like they're just trying to nerf every single Big Bang as they come out. Which isn't a bad thing. You can get away with it and get through this, but you need to be very precise.
That was a good nuke reflect, though.
Yeah, having a bit of luck with the nuke reflects, it's happening like that, is always a very good thing. It's just a risky strategy rather than a bad strategy, because sometimes you do want to get into these fights quickly, and this is a good way of doing it.
Yeah, Rosa's Cure 4s aren't doing a whole lot either.
Yeah, that's the Heroin Robe,
Yeah.
because that's still equipped in my... Yeah, it definitely looks like it's still equipped. Maybe that Artemis Bow is on as well, so the Cure 4s won't be really doing that much.
Yeah. Which, if you're gonna use Rosa as a healer in the final fight...
Yeah, that just queued up though is going to unfortunately fry our little white mage in Porum, because the black hole came out just before.
Nice.
And the other thing about this particular strategy is you're relying on Fu for a lot of magic damage. He doesn't have the highest MP pool. So with only having 190, 200 if you found a Soma drop. So you're going to have to rely on the ether potions or maybe the elixirs that you found just to keep that damage rolling from him. Looks like was able to get a Starvel up on Palom and immediately after the black hole though, so the damage is still coming. Just had to take a little bit of a turn to just make sure Fu's got some MP, so the nukes can continue.
And he had Rosa Zerk herself, so I think he
Maybe
might just try and
maybe
get
just
as much damage as fast as possible to get through.
Yeah, no, has already done a whole lot of damage, so might just be thinking, yeah, this is close to the end. Here comes the Meteor. Rosa should be able to help just bring this over the finish line. And with a virus, a nuke, and a couple of... Thanks.
There we go.
There we go. Dracumus is down for a second time. Those secrets have been fully laid bare. And Rumblefish has finished in a time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Very nice.
Going to a 2-2 record as well. And I do believe we've just been joined by the Rumblefish himself.
Here I am.
Really? Oh, I was right. Wow, that's the first. Congratulations on finishing, and tough sort of hook route out and sort of a haunted moon and spending a little bit of time up there. Grind was nice, but then sort of getting caught behind that evil wall. How do you feel it went for you apart from those little things?
You know, I think even though I didn't come in first, I felt pretty satisfied with first of all with my Kenazo hook route. Kenazo on the hook route, I think I really had a lot of good luck and really good strategy to get through that spot. It's probably the worst spot Kenazo in the entire seed. And top of that, it is a hook route, so there was just no way around it. And so, I mean, I was feeling pretty good about that alone. I guess what happened was the moon ended up being haunted, and I don't really know where exactly how my Leonhart what his routing was, but it looks like the moon was fully not exactly not exactly.
pretty much with the legend sword being behind that twin harp, means that even that Rydia up on the moon wasn't required at all. So, but Kenyatta in that spot can be quite the challenge, and you did get through it very, very well. So excellent work on that. Mostly it came to the overworld checks at the start, which I think was the main sort of stumbling block between you and Leonhart. You had a lot of trouble with that Wyvern, and at the start, as well as Val on ordeals going up early there. And after that, you were steadily gaining pace, but not quite a lot because the enemies just didn't sort of line up because you both got through them very easily. What was your thinking about going up ordeals so early? Just wondering. We were wondering about that on the commentary.
Well, I thought I just did enough with the looting because I was able to get some fairly decent gear for Sid in my looting through this 1/3 of Castle Eblin. So I figured that that would be enough really to carry the day for mono deals. Usually the bosses there are pushover, but like having Valvolus in that one spot is really a challenge. I think they had this seed really had all like the worst spots for each of the bosses. That Tenazo and the Hook Route, Valvolus and the second Ordeals boss, and then Golbez and Dwarf Castle. So I just felt like I was going to be able to plow through it. I had like Sid with a, he had like a dragoon shield and a glass helmet, and I thought it was going to be pretty invincible. It's going to be able to, have strong defense going also through those bosses. But Val did not make that happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, the defensive prowess of Val in that spot was really the undoing rather than your offensive power.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dijon, any questions for you from you?
I think y'all pretty well covered it.
So,
yeah, I think actually having a sub 2 hour for this seed, I think is a thing to be proud of. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I could have if I had just decided I was just going to full clear moon. I mean, can you imagine how long it would be still be waiting for me to complete this seed? But luckily we're not. And so I got it done, just under 2 hours, which of course is great because I know that I am literally, this interview is the last thing that's keeping everybody from their week 5 matchups. So I'm sure that people are eager for this race to be wrap up just so they can get to their week 5 I don't know who the week 5 competitor is.
Yeah. Speaking of week 5, you're on 2-2, which is a horrible place to be in because you still need 2 wins, and you're probably hoping then to mitigate one of them today. Didn't quite happen. Probably not looking forward to the next couple of weeks being up against it now.
Yeah, I think there's I believe that if I get you need to have 3 wins, right? I forget how the math breaks down, but I know that
you need 4 wins to get through to back brackets. So
4 wins. Okay, so that means I have to win both 5 and 6. If I'm correct.
Yes, that is.
Okay, so so there's no margin for error the next 2 weeks, but I'm feeling pretty good about my. There's some lessons learned from this seed too. I think I had some hubris going into some of these fights. I probably should have just faded them to begin with, like the Evil Wolf fight and Value Cave, and then the Asura fight in the Leviathan spot. So I can take those lessons learned, and I'm ready to go for next week. And I'm ready to. I think I'll be a match for any challenger that I get.
Okay, we do wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we'll see you running and continuing on.
Thanks.
Yeah, GG's.
So that brings us to the end of week 4. 4 weeks so far of great races. There's great competitors. Still 2 more weeks to go in this Swiss round, and we'll be finding out what the matchups will be, likely a little bit later tonight or tomorrow morning. And Dijon, it's been a pleasure to work with you as always.
Indeed. Always a pleasure.
And I believe we've got somewhere lined up for everyone. Where are we going again?
Looks like we're going to Randomania Prime.
Oh, right. Okay. So it looks like they're doing some Dragon Warrior League. So Dragon Warrior Randomizer League. So probably going to be heading over to them. Zoe is shouting out, "Please give me like 10 minutes." That's probably for the thing. But we're going to be heading over to their Randomania Prime. I'm for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer League. If you do see people that are wanting to know about this particular race, please don't spoil it, because there are some people who watch it back later or tomorrow. And yeah, don't spoil. Let them find out for themselves if they want to. Other than that, have a good evening, everyone. And thank you for everyone who's watched today, everyone behind the scenes. Thank you for our runners.
And in about 10 minutes, if the pairings aren't up, DM Zoe. No,
Yeah.
Don't actually do that.
Have a good evening, everyone.